So now we're going to be entering a new chapter, and this is going to be the far hip series. So something I hope you're noticing already. For my opponent to eventually get up, what hip do they have to be on? Get the foot lock on me, please. So when she gets the foot lock on me, and we're here, for me to get up here, look, it's very difficult for me to get up on this side of my body. I would have to remove this hip to get up here. But even when I get up here, what do I have to do? I have to go to this hip, okay? So the new section that we're going to learn now, we learned everything on when the opponent's on this hip, how we can finish, and how this knee is open, and how if our shoulder goes forward, I fall, how she can submit me, going counterclockwise, going all around me, doing all the finishes, right? We learned all that, right?
Oh, you want me to finish? Or?
No, I'm just saying, we learned all that, right?
Yeah.
So now what we're going to learn is when I go to the far hip. So I'm on the near hip now. This is world one of the footlock series. The far hip is going to be when I move my body to this side and I'm on this hip. You see, it's simply changing my weight on this side of my butt to this side of my butt. That's all the differences between near and far hip. But it's significantly different. I personally feel like the braking on this side of the hip is stronger sometimes. Remember I said breakage before? I don't know if that's...
I still never looked at it.
Yeah, I know. I have to look that up after to see if that's actually a word. But yeah, the breakage on this side is way stronger. I feel like it is. I popped a lot of people's ankles on this side. The finishing mechanisms are going to be altered a little bit. But the first thing I need to discuss with you, the rule is when we're doing this footlock, I cannot allow you guys, you cannot go this way. So torque my knee and go this way. This is illegal in IBJJF. We're never allowed to...
In the gi now.
Yes, you're right. No gi, you're allowed to do this because we're going to allow reaping, okay? Keeping up with the rules. So in no gi, you'll actually be able to turn in like this because it's reaping. But in the gi, you're not allowed to torque my knee in purposely going to this side. She can, if I turn my knee like this, she's allowed to put pressure on me this way, okay? That's legal. But she's not allowed to turn my knee in since we're in this realm of the world of the footlocks, right? So how I like to always show finishing here is we go with wherever the body is and getting our head to the floor and finishing this way. You don't have to actually finish. I'm just explaining what's going on. Okay. The finish is going to be back. Okay, this way. No, you're fine. It's going to be over here. And why this is a strong finish. I want you to notice something about my foot when I'm on this side of my body. So let's move this way. I think it'll make it way easier to understand why this is such a strong finish for everyone. Notice the difference between when I was on this hip versus this hip. I have no weight on my foot right now. My foot's off the floor, guys. What does that mean for me? That means all my weight's on my legs. That means if she places her shoulder to the floor, back into the floor.
Oh.
Look how much she can arch my foot. Look. Come back. If you know how to do it right, you would break your foot, but it's good. It's fine. We're good. So we're here. Basically, because there's so much space, just stay here, please. Because there's so much space, this circle right here, she has to place my foot on the floor and my foot's off the floor. She has so much more of a place for my foot to fall. I always make this example of, just let go of this. If I was on a cliff, hanging off of a mountain, and I wanted to go for a footlock here, my body falls back. But look how much place I can go falling back. Why is that? Because I have more space to fall with my foot. There's less place for my foot to go. So when she has the footlock on this side of my body, look how my foot's off the floor. Look how she has the mountain to fall off of. You see? Yeah, now it's getting strong.
Sorry.
You see? That's the difference between this, and go to the other side, and this. Here, she has my foot here, but look, it's a little different, right? You see the difference? The other one feels stronger, right?
So that's on this.
This is the far hip family.
I like this.
You see? Yeah, this one you feel like you're hanging off of a mountain. That, I know it's it's a weird analogy, but it's literally that, because you see how my foot's off the floor, it's hanging, and she's just falling off the mountain. That would be really bad. Like, imagine you're hanging off a mountain, you just go.
Hey, at least the person who took your foot is gone, so who cares?
Yeah, but that is why I think that this ankle lock actually is more deadly and more
Suicide mission.
not deadly because you're not dying, but it's more dangerous and more effective with with breaking mechanisms, breakage.
This way?
Again, yeah, yeah. So this position has better breakage on this side opposed to the other. Both are completely correct, but I'm just saying that I actually prefer when I'm on this hip. When I won Worlds last year and I did this in the finals, the person was on this hip. And I felt his ankle just go that's right away because it's a very powerful pop on this side because my foot is off the floor and because all my weight is on this side. Look how easy it is for my foot to fall. So,
Does that actually, do you feel it?
it's really tight. So what I want to explain to you guys is this. Look, go to the other side, please. When I'm here, for me to flex my foot and go in the boot, look how my foot's on the floor. I have my foot on the floor. I have weight on my foot. Anytime I have weight on my foot, just a little bit, I'm stronger. I can maybe make a boot. I can flex my foot and heel, okay? But when she's on the other side, I have no weight on my foot, so I'm going to flex my foot now. Great. I have nothing to even help me flex my foot. I could possibly use my arms, which I'm going to show how to defend when the person uses their arms. But even if I bring my foot up here, just move your shoulder down again, it's very hard because I don't have any weight on my foot to protect me. You see? I literally, this is so bad for me. Like, you see the difference? But every time the person wants to come up, they have to go to this hip. I can't come up on this side. How can I come up on this? Put your foot, man. How can I come up on this side? Like this? Look, I'm going to fall. You see how I fall? I can't come up like this. I need to come up switching hips. But when I switch hips, it just made it way worse. I mean, sorry. No, it's fine. It's fun. So, do you see, this is the biggest thing you guys are going to learn in this section. That every time the person wants to come up, we need to change hips. But when we change hips, look how all my weight is on this side of my body, and look how light my leg is. Something you learned before. Let go of my leg, please. Something you learned before. The weaker we make my knee and hip, the weaker the dorsiflex will be in my ankle. The less strength I have in this hip overall, the worse my foot will fall. The more my foot falls, the easier it is to apply the ankle lock. So this rule is being applied here. But besides that rule, the falling off the mountain concept where my foot is always already here. She has that huge space to fall to stretch my foot because I'm on that side, you see? So every way of me coming up, every style of me coming up, I need to change hips to go to that side. Okay, so now we're going to discuss how the finished mechanisms are on this side. So come here, please. I'm going to have to be very careful on this one because, yeah, I don't want to break my
I don't know if
sister's
there's
foot.
feeling still in there, so you're set.
So it's angle this way. So, here. So I go for the foot lock here.
What do? Do I?
All you have to do is just bring this leg in and go to the side.
Oh,
Don't
like
come
this?
up, yeah, just here.
Okay.
See how your foot's off the floor? See the difference, guys? So her foot's off the floor right now. What I'm going to show you guys is how to finish here. Let's actually change sides. I want them to see my arm. So let's go like this. More. More. Okay, I'm here. I'm going to be here. I'm in this spot. Okay. So what you guys are going to see is this. Remember how I explained to you the best spot to adjust the foot lock is when you're on your knees? There's two amazing spots to adjust the foot lock. It's when she's on the far hip and when I go on my knees. Why is that? Because when I'm like this, notice how my foot is like a table here. Notice how I can use my hand on her knee and move my arm and bite down her leg. Just like when I was on my knees before. What am I talking about? Lay down, please. When I was on my knees before, like this, you saw I was able to go up and down her leg like this? That's why I was able to adjust with my legs on the pinky, pull down, close my shoulder, drop, and finish the foot lock, right? That is what I'm doing in this foot lock here. So when I'm here, I cross knees, close your knee, go to this hip, up here, yep. What I'm doing here is this. I can start high, no problem. Just back up a little bit. I can start high, no problem, right? She could be flexing her foot, I can start high. What I do is, I grab her knee, right below her kneecap again. I'm going to put pressure. I'm going to use my lat on her arm. to pull her foot this way. So what am I doing? Flex your foot. I use the lat on my arm to bend your foot. You can't stay flexed, right? I use my feet like this. Look, this is another detail. Look how when I'm here, my foot cannot stay obviously here now, so my foot is hammering like a De La Riva on her hip. You're gonna learn why after. But I'm flexing my foot, so flex your foot.
Yeah, I can.
But look, I just did the big toe. Look, now when I go like this, look how much weaker it is. So look, she can fight me a little bit when I go on the big toe. But when she goes here and I go on the pinky, look. So I just completely shut off. Look. All I'm doing is going in the circle motion on her. Like, look, like this. Like this. I know it's you want to keep your foot straight. Look, and then boom. Again. And then boom. So all I do is make a grip here. I put pressure. I lift up her leg more, so flex your foot. I go around and I lock the foot lock here. Now what I'm going to do is this. I lock the foot here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring her leg up like this. As I do this, I use the blade of my arm and I bring her heel up more.
Move a little bit this way.
Okay, now when I'm here, look how I brought the blade of my arm up. I'm going to go right under her kneecap. I'm going to put pressure on her kneecap away from me. Now I'm going to bring my shoulder down. I'm sorry in
You're not
advance.
even going down yet.
No, I'm sorry. I'm grabbing the shoulder. All I'm going to do is make this grip. And now what I'm going to do is bring my head to the floor and I'm going to bring my shoulder to the floor. If I do this, it's going to break her foot. So I'm just going to let go and I'm going to go like this. It's going to be like this.
Ooh, that's.
I still am not doing.
You could go a little bit with the other one.
I'm
I
scared.
no, I'm good.
Look, so I bring pressure with her pinky and I put pressure down with her toe. I pinch my legs and then I bring my neck down. I straighten my neck. I put the blade of my arm on her leg.
Wow.
See, I'm not even putting pressure. All I'm doing is turning my wrist. That's 1. 2. I put pressure here. I pinch my legs. I turn my wrist. I bring my shoulder down to the floor, stretching my lat down, and I bring my head, stretching this collar grip. Just like you learned before. What did you learn before about doing a full lat? Whenever we grab this far collar, we activate the shoulder. If I'm just here and I'm here, I still actually have more, I still have pressure on her foot, but this. You see the difference? When I have this collar.
You're not even putting any pressure?
No, I'm just stretching.
How would you put pressure?
I would close my elbow more. Look,
Oh, wow.
this is another concept I'm about to teach you guys. Look, whenever I have the foot lock and I close my elbow, so I bring my elbow in like this. Look now, I'm not even doing anything. I'm just bringing my elbow to my body like this. So, I'm sorry, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
So when I'm here,
For science.
your foot's getting all like, when I'm here and I have the foot lock and she's flexing her foot,
Who needs a foot?
when I'm here and she's flexing her foot, I get my shoulder around her leg. I get to the foot lock here. I'm in this spot here. I get to this spot. Look what I'm trying to do with my elbow. I'm trying to close my elbow at the same time. As I'm closing my elbow, I'm pushing down her knee. I'm pinching my legs. I'm bringing my lat, my shoulder, my lat, like my back down, just like before. The same finishing mechanism. The same breakage. I don't know. I still don't know if it's a word, but
It sounds good. Who cares?
yeah, okay. So
It's not a word yet.
bet it will make it. I'll get edited. So now my shoulder's gonna go down. I'm gonna push the knee. I'm gonna pinch. I'm gonna bring my shoulder down. And now look what I'm gonna do with my head. When I bring my head down, I'm gonna put it to the mat like this. And as I put it to the mat, you see, I can't even do it. So I'm just gonna let go of everything. I'm just
You
gonna
didn't do it yet?
You see, I'm just gonna look. That's tapping you already also. No, I'm just gonna not use my hand. All I do is I bring my shoulder down. I put my head to the floor like this. I push the knee away. I pinch my knees, and I press my lat down, bending her toes. And I still have a lot more place to go.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. It's because you're bending my foot all the way down.
With my lat, I'm
Yeah,
doing this
it's
to your
bending-
toes,
Yeah.
which breaks the foot instantly when I do this. Okay, so that is how I'm breaking. I mean, how I'm not breaking the toe because I'm not breaking the toes. I'm just spraining your ankle or foot. Okay, so we're here. I get the foot lock. You're flexing your foot. I'm here. I go around her shoulder. I go here. Look. Now I just get the grip. I bring her heel up my body. I bring my elbow down. I bring my shoulder, my lat. Sorry. I squeeze and I put pressure here.
It's very painful, but I'm also afraid it's gonna come out.
It's like, I know it's a breaking one,
No, I
right?
feel like it's separating.
It's
No.
like really.
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid with that.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. It's just
So
that's why
guys,
it's tough.
this is what I need you guys to understand. So that's why I'm teaching you it in this order. If you understand the near hip series, it'll be so easy for you to do the far hip one because as you see how strong is this? It's way stronger, right? Yeah, after her doing it to me, I really do feel like it's like significantly stronger when you're on the far hip, because there's so much more room for her foot to bend. There's like going off a mountain, like your leg has so much more room to fall off, right? So that's why this side is stronger. And all you're going to do first in this drill is this. She's gonna start with a boot. I want you to start high, and she has the boot. All I'm gonna do is grab the kneecap. I'm gonna move my hand, keep your boot.
Might even go a little bit.
All you're gonna do is keep the boot. I'm just gonna go on my shoulder like this. So she has the boot, I have the foot, right? All I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna use my bottom foot like this. I'm gonna stretch my bottom leg like this. I'm making pressure on my leg like this. As I do this motion, guys, flex your foot. I'm gonna go around her foot like this and get to the foot. Okay? Once I do this, I'm gonna close my elbow. I'm gonna bring her heel up a little bit. Because the more her heel is up, the less you can place it on the floor. Okay? You see the difference? So when your foot is like this, put your foot on the floor. So come up and put your foot on the floor. But come back. So I go with your heel up like this. Now put your foot on the floor. Okay, you just popped your own ankle coming up. Okay, so as I'm in this spot here, I stretch. I have the grip here. I move her heel up my body like this. Now when I'm here, what I'm doing is I put the pressure right below her knee. I'm sorry.
No, I'm preparing. I'm good. Sorry.
I put the pressure below the kneecap. I pinch my legs. I pinch. Now I'm going to put pressure on my knee like this. When I put pressure on my knee like this, I'm going to now use the concept of the collar that I explained before, of hanging off the collar. I'm here. I stretch. I put my neck to the floor. I bend my elbow in. I put my neck to the floor. I'm not going to put pressure, I promise. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let go of the collar so I don't break her foot. I'm going to put my head to the floor, my shoulder down.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my head to the floor and my shoulder down here. And once I'm here, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch my knees. I'm going to close my elbow more. I'm going to stretch like this.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
More of a personal question. You ever get this far with someone?
Typically, it's a guaranteed pop if I get this far. You know, some people just let their feet break in competition. I just feel the foot bend and bend and bend.
Because this is literally to the point where I feel it's separating.
Well, something you could do to alleviate pain probably would be changing back to the near hip. You know, like when I'm like this. Like let's just say you let your foot pop a little bit and then you change sides. Like bring your leg back in and go to the other hip. You know, but now you're still in the same spot.
Yeah, I know.
But now your foot is at least on the side of your body. You know, so maybe that would alleviate some of the pain. But you're still, it's gonna go up. You know, and so I feel like you said, it's an instant. I pop someone's foot in 12 seconds like this. You know, I felt it pop in 12 seconds. So literally, the second you get here, you start doing this pressure, it instantly just pops. You know, and it's again all the concepts you learned how to finish the foot lock are so applicable here, and it's actually so much easier. So I need you guys to perfect the near hip before we do the far hip, and because as you're seeing, as we're doing the far hip, it's so strong. So we start here, and she has the boot, right? I go on the kneecap. I go with my lat under her. You see how instantly I just do? Look, keep your foot flexed. Try. It's kind of like you're trying hard, right? Try.
Yeah.
You can't keep it flexed. So if I keep my elbow up like this, I can put pressure on her foot, you know, using my lat here. I can finish her like this. You see many people do this, like a high elbow guillotine. I just feel like if I can connect my elbow and close it and bring her heel up my body, now I have my lat behind her foot and I pinch, and now I close my lat and close my elbow. That's way stronger, right?
Yeah.
Opposed to this.
Yeah.
See, it's not that strong, right? See the difference? But again, the foot locks here, it's kind of weird because one is more technically right than the other, but you'll see people submitting people with the wrong one that's technically not as good. Because if you have a good squeeze and you're in the right spot on the foot, you can break anyone's foot basically. But our goal is to have 100. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just missing.
My goal is to have 100% efficiency with my body, how I'm using it.
My foot's the star of the show.
Yes, this foot deserves a medal after. So that is what we're doing in this spot. We're perfecting how to use our whole body. Flex your foot. I go on the kneecap. I circle. I get to the grip here. Once I'm here, I bring my elbow in. I bring my elbow in. I bring my elbow in. You see? And then I'm bringing her heel up.
You're bringing your elbow into your body when you're doing
I'm
this?
closing my elbow.
You're closing it, but you said you bring your elbow in. But I feel like...
See, my elbow's not like this.
Oh.
It's up. It's closed. So I'm
So
connecting
you're
my
coming
elbow like this.
So you're coming like this?
I'm kind of coming like this, and I'm connecting my elbow to my body.
Okay.
Because the more I'm like this, the more I have pressure, but it's not that strong. But when I go like this, here, Now my elbow's closed, right?
Yeah.
Now look at the pressure here. Now I bring my shoulder back. I do this with my shoulder. I just bring my shoulder back like this. So I'm stretching my back, and then I push my shoulder down. That's what I'm doing with my shoulder. So like this. I'm doing this. I'm closing my elbow. I'm bringing her heel up. I'm putting pressure on my heel up. I'm turning my wrist like this. That hurts when I do this, right?
Yeah.
Now this is painful. You see, I'm submitting you now on that part of your foot. So I guess a drill that you guys could do to practice all the motions of pain here, not motions of pain, the motions of the breakage here. We can practice the Achilles. I think this is the Achilles.
Achilles heel.
Yeah, the Achilles tendon, right?
Tendon.
This. I don't know though. Don't get. I don't want to get redheaded.
Yeah, the tendon. It's yeah. But are these doctors like saying that you're doing it wrong?
I don't know.
or-
I don't know. So if I make a grip on her heel like this, and I put pressure on her body like this, I close my elbow, and now this should be enough. You see, that's Achilles, right?
No, I felt it still on top.
Are you feeling it here also though?
Now I do. Yeah.
So if you want
Oh, so I remember you showed me with the blade of the arm. That's for the lower part.
that's for the Achilles.
So that's
Every time I switch to the blade of arm, we're going for the Achilles. So a lot of people when they do foot locks, they think, they're not strong enough to finish because it's this. No, it's not this. It is if you're just doing a foot lock on the Achilles or on the shin to break the shin.
Well, I mean, I thought also.
A foot lock is the lat. It's your lat strength. It's
Oh.
literally getting the toes bent. You
Because
know,
I've always thought too.
that's a huge misconception
that
with the
to
foot lock.
do an ankle lock, you have to have your arm like this.
No, it's a lat. You see? Do you see how I was finishing you without even using my
Yeah,
arm?
You just added it now, right?
Yeah, look. If I'm like this, look how I can finish you. I'm gonna make a grip. I'm just gonna go like this. Like I'm gonna not use my.
Oh.
Am I using the
No.
Achilles heel at all? Am I using the blade of my arm? No, because I'm using my lat. I think that's a huge misconception with the foot lock that I think we just unraveled. That you need to use your blade of your arm on the heel. Of course, technically sound. We want to use the blade of our arm because we can submit someone from the Achilles for sure. Okay, but we want to add in the biggest thing for me is the lat because I know I could break the person's ankle if it's over here. But if I'm using the Achilles heel, like I said before, the tendon, it's sometimes harder. So we're doing this spot here with that thought process that we're trying to bend. We're not just focused on this. We're focusing on this. And that's what's going to give us the breakage or whatever it's called. We're here,
Destruction.
the
I
destruction.
think that's what I said.
Obliteration, not obliterate. Obliteration, okay. We've been filming for like a month straight, guys. Sorry. So we're here. I get the foot lock. I get my elbow closed here. I get the grip here. So flex your foot. This is the drill I need you guys to first do. I get the foot lock high. Again, I like getting high because I can shut off her foot. I just grab the gi here. I go my arm around her foot, around the pinky. I circle, I feed. I bring my elbow in, bring her heel up. Because now come up on top. Is it hard for you to put your foot to the floor?
Yes. Very good.
Now, normal. Now put your foot to the floor. You see?
Mhm.
So when I do this, now it's hard for me to put your foot to the floor, right? Now I circle my wrist just a little bit. I go here, I pinch my legs, I use my lat, I press my lat down to her toes. I'm gonna put pressure. I'm gonna arch my back. I'm gonna put my head to the floor. You see? I'm gonna close my elbow. The more I close, this is the motion I think you guys have to learn. To closing the elbow like this. You see, I'm not even doing the submission now. I'm just doing this.
Oh. Yeah,
Sorry.
That was forbidden.
Sorry. Look. Look, I'm doing my back. Because this is the space over here where her foot is hanging off. This is the space I have to press her foot down. This is where all her body is. So if I do this, I can make her foot bend and fall. So that's why when I'm here and I get to this spot here and I put pressure on my back down like this to the side, that puts a lot of pressure on her knee. And if she goes this way with her knee, I'm allowed to go like this. I'm not allowed to force her knee this way. Unless it's IBJJF no gi now in ADCC, right? No gi. But in the gi, we're not allowed to just torque her knee and go, ah! We're not allowed to go this way. It's against the rules. So we're only allowed to go that way. So we use our lat down. We turn our body this way. We put pressure with our knee. I turn my wrist, and I should get the tap. Okay, let's change sides, please. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good to go.
So I'm here. I get to the foot lock.
The question is, am I gonna feel this tomorrow?
Probably you won't feel anything.
Oh, sure.
Probably no feeling. The feeling will be gone. Right here. I go for the foot lock. We turn, change hips.
Oh, sorry.
So go to this.
Yeah, sorry.
That was the near hip family. Now we're here. So now we're here. I go to this hip. Guys, that's very important. When I'm doing this foot lock and she changes hips, I change hips as well. She went to that hip. I'm gonna go to my far hip. So I was on this hip before. I go to my other hip, just like she did. So she was on this hip before. Go back.
Oh, sorry.
So I think this is a very interesting thing to think about. Look, when she's on this hip defending the foot lock, you see how she's on that hip? She's going to change to the other hip. You see? If she changes to that hip, look what I do. I change to the same hip as well. I mimic her. So she's there. I replicate her. So she's there, now change hips. I go to this. You see? It's the same exact thing she's doing. Now flex your foot. I'm here. Instead of my foot being on her hip right now, I'm just going to leave my foot on her leg like this. Okay, so I'm just going to bring my leg up. So flex your foot. I'm going to go around her toes. I'm going to lock this foot lock. I'm going to bring her heel up her body. Look, now I'm going to get here. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring my elbow down, my shoulder down. Bringing my shoulder down, I'm going to push her knee to me. I'm going to pinch my knees. I'm going to bring her shoulder down, my head down, and now I'm going to put pressure. Sorry. I'm trying really not to hurt her foot. You see, so I'm like this. I have the grip. I close my shoulder. I put pressure down. I put pressure down. I put my neck down like this. Once I'm here, if I want, once I get here, I can put my foot back on the hip just to put more pressure on my hips. Now I'm going to put pressure up to finish the foot lock. You see, I just did the whole motion without her foot in. So I had an invisible foot in my armpit right now.
What would it look like right now if you did that to my foot?
Fireworks.
Do you guys want to see that? Oh.
So I'm here. I have the grip here. I feel the grip here. I'm putting pressure. I adjust. I first close the boot. So I'm here. I'm here. I close the boot. I close the foot here. I bring her foot up my arm. I bring my elbow to my body. So I'm trying to get my elbow. This is a good roll. I'm trying to get my elbow to my body like this. Here, there's some space, but when I get my elbow to my body, I feel like that's the strongest spot. So when I'm here, I try to get my elbow to my body, like connected to my body. Now I'm like this. Look how easy it is for me to go. All I'm doing is I'm on this hip. I'm going to put pressure, my back down. You see, now I'm strong. So I'm like this. I bring my elbow to my body. I'm putting pressure. I hang, I stretch, and then I put my neck down. Once I get here, I can put both feet back down, and now, boom! And now if that doesn't work, I can change sides again. And then I can put more pressure on her foot. Okay? But at this point, the foot's going to be like done. Okay? So again, we're here. I have the foot lock from here. She's flexing her foot. I go around her pinky. I adjust the foot. I bring her heel up. I close my elbow. Now when I'm here, I pinch. I bring my shoulder down, my head up. See? I get the finish. So, again, we're using this concept of below the patella, right here. How you can practice doing this to make sure you're doing it correctly. Taking away her gi, grabbing the actual skin of her body.
If anything's left there.
Grabbing this, not the skin, just grabbing here and pushing like this. So, an actual grip on her body and pressing. That is the motion I'm doing when I'm in the spot. The adjustment is literally like before. I'm pulling, I go here. I use my shoulder blade around her toes to bend her toe. Once we achieve this, we're able to attack the foot lock, right? That is all we're doing in this spot. And once we achieve this plantar flexion in her foot, we lock in the foot. We close our elbow on her body, taking her heel away from the mat, because for her to come up, she needs her heel on the floor. So the second we remove her heel from the floor and my elbow goes to her body, she can't put her foot on the floor, meaning that I have more torque on her body to go this direction. You see, I think that's a very important concept, especially when we go on to the next lesson, or when the person comes on top, to understand that whenever we get this heel on our chest, it stops them from putting their weight on that foot. And our goal in a foot lock is, if they get their weight to that foot, they're able to eliminate pressure on the foot. But if we're able to keep their weight on their hip and knee, their foot is light, right? So that is very important as we proceed on to the next thing, is keeping their heel above our shoulder, okay? So that is what we're doing in this spot, and it's so important to understand that. The heel coming off the floor, she changes from her near side hip. When I'm on my near side hip, she goes to her far hip. I go to my far hip. We're just following exactly what they're doing here. It's always easy in jiu-jitsu when they do one thing, you do the same exact thing. It's always easy to remember that, you know. So this is one of those times that you could make that exception. Not exception, you could follow that trend. It's not accepting the trend. They go from near hip, I'm on near hip. They go to far hip, I go to far hip. We're just replicating them. She turns into me. We go to that side. It's the example of hanging off of a mountain and you're taking someone's foot off with you. The person's strapped like this. There's a mountain and you can just fall like this because you have the area, you have the part of your body that you can fall and you can bend their foot. That's basically what's happening here. Okay. That is why it's a very strong foot lock and you get a lot of breaks here, especially on this side of the body, the far hip. I love this side. And again, for the person to come up from your foot lock, what do they have to do? They have to go on this far hip. They have to. They literally have to. So you're going to see people do this all the time. They're going to always try to come up on you. And it's actually going to help you get to this submission. You're going to get to this finish, okay? So I want you to work this finish. But again, guys, please, please, please do not put pressure on your opponent's ankle here. It's very dangerous. And learn how to use your lat instead of using this part of your arm. We just debunked, right?
Yep.
We just debunked a huge misconception with the foot lock that you need to use this part of your hand the most important.
Jiu-Jitsu mythbusters.
Jiu-Jitsu mythbusters. So we're using our shoulder blade, our lat, to put pressure on the foot, not just this part of the arm. This is just a compliment. This is just icing on the cake, right? The cake itself is the lat on the arm because we want to bring down the toes. That's what we're forcing. We're forcing plantar flexion. And that's what we're doing in this spot, okay? So I want you to work all this together in these concepts. And please, guys, please have a deep understanding of the near side hip ankle lock series that we did previously before continuing on to this. Because if you do, this is going to take 5 seconds to learn because it's literally all the same concepts, you know? Am I right?
Yeah.
Don't you feel like the other stuff is way harder, but then if you learn that, this stuff is so easy?
Yes, exactly.
That's why I did it in this order. We're building. We're going to get to the next thing, and we're going to keep going. Us. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over another reaction from my opponent when they go to the far hip. Obviously, they're going to be trying to leg drag me, right? Because they're going to this hip. They can't remove that other hook if they're on this hip. We showed that before. So they have to try to leg drag me. So they're going to be doing this. If you could go for a foot lock on me, please.
Sure, my pleasure.
Your pleasure. Okay, go to this side. After all the times I've been full locking you in this series. So you're here. Okay. So I go to this. Make your foot a little deeper, please, and bring your elbow up more. No, you want your elbow connected to your body. We just
you want me to actually go like further?
just a little tighter, so we
here.
actually follow the rules.
I didn't know how. Okay.
And just bring your collar grip up a little more. Okay, this is really tight. Okay, so we're here. Look, whenever I'm in this spot, the only way I could come up, possibly, if I do this, it's gonna be kind of hard for me to come up. I can come up, but the pressure on my hip is gonna be very hard for me to come up. So when I come to this side, I'm gonna try to leg drag her leg like this. Okay. And then when I leg drag her leg, I'm gonna grab her collar like this. You see, this is a very common way that someone would come up. I'm gonna show you when the person actually gets up after, but the first step is understanding this. So me just leg dragging her leg like this. Okay. It's gonna follow what we learned previously, but it's gonna be a little different because the hand fight's gonna be a little different. So let me explain. If I can do it on you. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be in this spot here. In the far ankle lock, she's gonna drag my leg across her body. She's gonna be here. Now just make a grip. I'm gonna be like anything here. Okay, what did we learn previously when the person leg drags me? What we learned is every time the person leg drags me, they're leg dragging my leg. I'm gonna go in the same line as their leg. So keep my leg drag. I'm gonna go in the same line as their leg to remove my heel because she's only dragging the lower part of my leg. So the upper part of my leg is free to go back to here. Then once I go back to here, I move my body, I adjust, I bring my shoulder down, and now I'm back to the foot lock here, right? But what I want you guys to see is something else. When I'm here and she drags my leg, completely drag my leg across her body.
Like this? Should I be like this?
You can.
Okay.
Whenever she does this, all I need to do is open my knee. You see? Whenever she grabs my collar, whenever she grabs my leg, and my lower part of my leg, I just need my knee to go in front of her shoulder. If I could achieve this, she won't be able to pass my guard. She needs my leg under her ribs. You see how my leg is under her ribs? Under her lat, her ribs. That will be her chance of passing my guard. If my knee stays outside her shoulder, you can't, right? Like this. You see how she can't pass my guard? So that's the first thing I need you to think about here. When she drags my leg, here, yeah, okay. My knee is no longer across my shoulder, right? So what do I need to do? It's the same concept as before. I use my hand under her shoulder like this. I'm gonna change angles, please, this way. Just a little more, this way. I'm gonna put my hand, so drag your shoulder up. Yeah, I'm gonna use my hand on her shoulder like this. When I do this, I'm gonna push, and then I'm gonna replace my hand with my knee, like this. So now drag my leg. Now I want to explain something. If my knee is in front of her shoulder, now I'll get to the leg drag grip on my leg. Now we're back to the rule we learned in the near hip series of the leg drag. Anytime my knee is in front of her shoulder, she goes to drag my leg. If I bring my knee to my chest following that format, I could go back here. So there is no leg drag. The leg drag only exists if she gets her shoulder in front of my knee. Like this. If this happens, so drag my leg, keep your hand here, whatever you want. I just push her shoulder like this. I can even grab like this to open her shoulder. I can punch. I can do something. I'm just going to put my fingers like this. I can even go like this. I push, and now I'm going to replace my knee with my hand. I'm going to replace my knee. Yeah, my knee with my hand, yes. I replace my knee with my hand. Now my knee is out. Once it's out, she's going to feel like she can't leg drag me because now my shin is free. So now drag my leg with your hand again on my leg. No.
Oh, down here.
Yeah. If you go to the other part, go to the other thing. If she does this, my leg comes out easy. So she has to go to the lower part of my leg. When she does this, look what I do. I just go in the same line as her body, like this, and I go here. If I want, I could get fancy, and I could grab the sleeve here and break her grip. You see? I don't necessarily need to do this because if she's holding my sleeve and I break the grip, what am I doing? I'm putting my knee under her shoulder. So maybe she could grab my hip and put her shoulder in front of me, right? But it's not wrong to do this. If I break her grip, connect my leg like this, put my foot back, no problem. I just need my knee in front of her shoulder. That's the only objective we have in this spot. So every time she drags my leg and she gets her shoulder in front of me, I frame her shoulder, I put my knee in front. Now when I'm here, look how her bicep is gone, even if she grabs my leg.
Oh, sorry. There's a lot of gravity.
She grabs my leg, look. Because my knee's in front of her shoulder, look. See how my knee is in front of her shoulder, guys? Look what I can do every time. Here, I just go in the same line as her leg. If I fight any other angle, so go no-gi grip so it's a little stronger. If I fight any other angle, it's going to be hard. But if I go in the same line as she's dragging my leg, so she's dragging my leg like this, drag my leg like this, right? So go back, drag my leg again. I'm going to go in the same line as she's dragging my leg like this. That's why my foot comes out. Every time she does that. 1, 2. 1, 2. You see how I'm able to do this every time? Now, once my foot arrives here, there's no going back. I can go here, I adjust, I get the grip again like before. I bring my elbow to my body, I bring my lat down, I put pressure on, yeah, you see? I bring pressure on my lat down like this, pressure, yeah, to finish the position. So let's change sides, please. Sure. Sorry.
No, it's when you hold it for a while, that's when it hurts.
It like loses circulation.
Yeah.
So I'm here, I get to the footlock, I get to the footlock here. She's on her near hip, she's gonna change to the far hip. Once she changes to the far hip, everything changes now, right? Because I have to go to my far hip. And as I do this, look what I did. My hip is here. I can take my hand and just place it on her leg. So I think we should change sides so you can see how I'm doing this.
Oh, back to that side?
Yeah. Because I noticed it might be difficult to change hips if you don't understand this detail. So go to the far hip. No, near hip first. And now change the far. So she goes to this side. Look. If I'm stuck on this side, all I do is this. I take my hand, I pull her knee, and now look how it's going to help me move my body. See how I'm able to change sides? If I was here, and I'm like this, I might have trouble changing sides. But if I go with my hand like this, and just touch her knee like this. Could you keep your knee back from me? Oh, now it's really easy to move. So if I feel like it's a little hard to move, bring her leg in a little bit. I'm just going to push her knee away and pull. Now I end up on this side of her body. She drags my leg. She gets her shoulder in front of me. This is the only way she can be strong in a leg drag, right? All I need to do is push her shoulder. I can even make this under her arm drag grip. I can push her shoulder. I can punch her shoulder. Just get my knee out. Once my knee is out, guys, we're safe. Now if she goes to leg drag my leg, you're just going to have to let go. Grab the leg.
Sorry.
Now look, all I do is this. My knee is already in front of her. So all I do is this. I go in the same line as her body. Look, I bring my knee in my chest. Look. Look. I get the foot back. So she drags my leg. The knee is in front of her shoulder, and behind her shoulder.
Oh, this one?
Yes. She can even be grabbing my collar. This is even easier for me, guys, because all I have to do is grab her shoulder. I can literally just put my hand on her shoulder, punch it, take my knee out. Now look, she does this. Look how easy it is for me to break this. Look. If I want, I can even do this. I wouldn't necessarily prefer this one because If my toes are like this, she could possibly push my leg down and go to the other side. Bring
Oh,
it this
this
way.
way?
Yes.
Oh.
And go to full back with me.
Oh, okay.
So I wouldn't necessarily prefer you to do this one on this hip because my leg is vulnerable to this. So I prefer you to stay more here. But if she's holding my collar, get your shoulder in front of me though. Because if she's like this, stay here. Look how easy it is for me to break. Look how easy it is for me to break. See, I can go with my toes here, but I just have to understand that she could possibly bring my leg to the other side. So if she starts bringing my leg to the other side, start pulling my leg. No.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. I gotta keep my knee on my chest. Look. And now I can change hips again. Because you can't bring my leg to the other side if I'm on this hip, right?
Oh, you mean this way?
Yeah.
No.
It's hard, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm on this side, bring my leg to the other side. It's a little easier, right? Because my leg has more volume to bring. So I have to understand that. So I am allowed to do this, but I just have to understand that, and I have to bring my hip like this. Now bring my leg to the other side. Now I can change hips again. And now I can come back. You see? So that protects me. So when I'm here, and she starts dragging my leg, her shoulder gets in front of me, she's here. I punch her shoulder, I move my knee out. Once my knee is out, I go on the wrist, look. I break the grip. 1. If I'm here and I want to break the grip, I feel she's so strong. All I'm going to do is I'm going to put my foot, my shin in her armpit like this. Once I do this, notice what's going to happen. I'm going to keep your grip strong, please. Like very strong. I'm just going to stretch my grip like this, and now I'm going to stretch my leg from her. So you can't keep the grip.
No.
If I want to be even stronger, I put my foot in her shoulder like this. Now, if she keeps pulling my arm pull, you're going to break your own grip. See, the more you pull, you break your grip. So I'm able to break her grip every time now when she's in this spot. If she holds this collar grip. She goes to my leg grips. We learned every grip that she does here. All I need to do is bring my leg up and around. If she's here, drag my leg with the sleeve of the gi. No, the gi. Grab it.
This sleeve.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Here. I just bring my knee up, down. So go on my ankle again. She's in the line of my leg. So all I'm going to do is angle my foot, my knee to the shoulder. Go up, circle my foot to the hip. I'm here in a leg drag. She gets her shoulder in front of me. What other grip can you do in front of me? Let's just make sure that I cover everything. The belt,
I
right?
would probably go for the belt.
Okay, if you close your elbow like this.
Oh, that's okay. What if I'm like?
Yeah, this. Okay, so you're closing your belt, right? All I do is this. Keep your elbow closed, please. Really strong.
Yeah.
If she closes her elbow and I'm stuck, go back. All I do is this. I use my fist. I straighten her shoulder. And now all I'm going to do is replace my knee with my shoulder from the spot I made. Because when I go here, look how my arm gets straight. Keep your elbow bent. Your shoulder bent. Like stay strong, like close. Look. My knee comes out. Once my knee comes out, my foot goes to her hip. Now I'm back in this spot. You see how this doesn't help you at all now? Now you're in this spot like this. You see? So hold my knee. Inside of my knee. Let's make sure we do every grip. So hold this. So drag my leg. I just frame, making my knee come out of her shoulder. That's all I need you guys to think of when you're here. Now I go up, foot goes to the hip. 1. Grab my sleeve now. Let's just make sure we do everyone. So here, I bring my leg, so drag my leg strong. My knee is already in front of her, right? All I do is here. 2. If I need to, if she's holding my sleeve and I want to, I can go on her sleeve like this and break. If I break, I have to keep my shin and knee in front of her arm like this. I cannot let my knee go like this on her. Then I'm being counterproductive. So if she holds, my sleeve again, and I want to break this, I pull, I break, but I leave my shin and knee in front of her like this. Now I can put my foot back. Now the other one, no gi grip. She's here. If I'm here and I feel like it's hard, she drags my leg, I drag her leg this way again. Drag my leg, drag my leg, drag my leg. I bring my leg up, I bring my leg up. In the same motion as her. Drag my leg, I bring my foot back.
You just got a little bit of stuff on it.
Sorry.
It's like burning. I don't
Sorry.
know if that's normal.
So I'm here. Now go on my knee. The knee is the easiest one if she's just holding the inside of my knee. This is what some people do. Knee up, foot down. Hold, knee up, foot down. She's holding my belt with her shoulder in front of me. She's here.
Oh, the shoulder?
No, just shoulder in front. Your shoulder here.
Okay.
I push, I angle myself. I take my knee out, foot to the hip. If she's holding my collar, elbow in front, yes. Like here. So all I do is I push the shoulder, I get my knee out, I hook her shoulder. Now I hook her shoulder like this, I posture up, I break the grip. Boom. If I need this extra support, I can put my foot here. But I know that if I leave my foot here, I could be in danger of this. So I have to be aware of that framing here. Framing, moving back, hooking the body. Okay? So let's change sides one more time so we can see on the other side. Here. Get to this spot here. She drags my leg. No, you're still on here.
Oh, sorry. I didn't go.
No, sorry. Here, I hold the leg, you drag my leg, I'm here. You have the no-gi grip, I flex my foot, I bring my knee to my chest, I go back. 1. 2, she's holding my sleeve. I can break the grip if I want, putting my knee in front of her leg, go back 2. 3, she's holding my knee, she drags, I bring my knee to my chest, I put it back. 3. Now I start going over my knee with your body. Belt, ready? I frame my arm under her shoulder, I hook. 1. Now like a skunk. 2, she's holding my collar. I push her shoulder, I get my knee out. 2. I'm trying to think, is there any other grip you could do in a leg drag? What do you think? Like on the thumb?
No, like pushing you like this way.
If you push my leg this way, I can go back to here, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that would be covered.
Oh, okay, I'm just.
What else is there? Do you think there's another? Did I not cover anything?
I think you covered everything.
Go on the outside of my knee. I just want to make sure I did every one of them. So now I'll make a grip like, so you're like this. Instead, what if you use your other arm remaining? And like drag my leg 2-on-1, like this type of control. Yes. Do you feel strong like this? Okay, so now she has my knee and ankle. So now all I'm going to do is frame her shoulder, and now I can go back to here. Okay, I just changed sides then. So if you go 2-on-1 on me, go back on this side. I just put my foot on her stomach. Look how my bottom foot's on her stomach, and now my foot comes, so drag my leg again. I just go 2-on-1, I drag my foot back here. Now I'm back to this hip, you see? Now, I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, she starts doing 2 grips on my leg, like a leg drag like this. I just square my knee up. Look at my knee, look at my knee. That's all I do. I change hips angles. Because when you leg drag me, you see, now she's changing her angle to that hip. So I change my angle to this. Oh, that's what's happening. You know what? Look what's happening when she does this one. This is pretty cool. When you leg drag me, go for the leg drag. So she starts on this hip. But when she starts leg dragging me, she's switching her weight to this hip. You see how you're doing that?
Yeah.
So this even follows our rules even more. This is how I know it's correct. So stay on this hip first. Now, when you were leg dragging, what were you doing? This, right?
Yeah.
Going to your other hip. Look what I do when I defend this. Look. Because you went to the other hip. So again, it's the same rule that we just learned previously. When she goes to the other hip, I go to the other hip. You see, I just saw that I just did that also. She went to the other hip, I went to the other hip. When she stayed on that hip, I stayed on that hip, and I just fought her in that spot. Okay? So we just covered every possible way that she could go leg drag. Yeah, there was no other way you could go, right?
No.
So we just covered that, and now we'll continue on, but I just wanted to make sure we covered all those possibilities. I can break the sleeve grip out if I want, and we pretty much covered everything at this point. Okay, let's keep going.